everyone, Officer here.
And JJ.
It's overtime and we need your help to capture this point. This video is about how to communicate more effectively when executing strategies in ranked games. First, we are going to give you 5 tips to improve your team's communication and your gameplay. This is our channel, It's Overtime. Our goal is to inform you guys with Overwatch tips, updates, and more. We both have a passion for Overwatch and want to share that with everyone. In order to share our passion, we intend to submit these videos every Monday and look forward to hearing what you guys think of our content.
Quick announcement, Overwatch 2 has finally been revealed. Kinda makes sense why Blizzard hasn't been really releasing any content. Well, kinda makes sense considering because they were trying to save everything for their next game. We will be coming out with a video next week about our thoughts on the leaks, so stick around for important details.
Make sure to stick around for the end because we have important information regarding our Discord and social media platforms. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So our first tip of the day is get a mic and get in team chat. This one is obvious. In order to communicate period, you need your teammates to be able to hear you. The solution to this is to buy a decent mic and press the team chat button. Really, any decent USB mic will do, but if you are willing to empty your pockets for a good one, we have provided links in the description below to some we believe are definitely worth considering. We shouldn't have to rant on about this, but to you guys who despise the team chat button due to whatever reason, I highly recommend getting in team chat. It can be a huge detriment to your team if you or your teammates are not in team chat to communicate strategies, ults, and more. Go ahead and check how many people are in your chat if you are in there, and encourage other people to join if you are in a game than less than 6 people who are in the chat. Taking this first initiative can help win a lot of games.
Tip number 2, shot calling. In order to plan a push onto point or rotating against the enemy, it is imperative that someone has the role of a shot caller so your team can be as organized as possible. The shot caller needs to have a good awareness of what is going on in the game, what both team compositions are, and how to counter it. Another necessity for a shot caller is to select a hero that controls the movement of the team. For example, playing an Eichenwald on attack, I play Lucio a lot, and at the beginning of a match, I'll ask the team if they are cool with me being the shot caller. With this role, I'll guide my team when and where to push with the help of Amp It Up on Speed Boost. This controls the push of the team and keeps everything very coordinated. In addition, the shot caller can also call who to focus. Heroes like Winston and D.Va are good picks because they have mobility and the crux of the team should follow the main tank to support them. Lastly, the shot caller has to have the ability to make decisions on the play with confidence, even if it doesn't work out. A good example of an immediate decision to be made would be to take care of a threat such as Widow by the gate on point A on Eichenwald. Calling there is a Widow and telling your DPS or tank or whoever is able to get the Widow to take care of it could be essential to capturing the point successfully. For example, let's say if I'm playing Winston, if I shot call that there's a Widow in the back right, but I'm the only one who can get it, then I should be the one going after the Widow. I shouldn't be relying on my teammates to get the Widow when I am the one with the ability to do so. Establishing the role of shot caller early on will help win games in the long haul. This tip is more effective in lower ranks because that's where communication really does lack, but is still beneficial at any SR.
On to tip number 3, ult tracking. Unlike determining who will be the shot caller, the ultimate tracker shall generally be anyone who has an idea of what the other team has in terms of ults. I've played on teams that think it is best to have just 1 or 2 people who keep track of ults, but there is a downside to this. When you have the kill cam enabled, you can take a sneak peek at the ult percentage of the enemy who killed you, so anyone should have the authority to communicate with the team about the ults the enemy team might have. Without that benefit to ult track effectively, it is important to also remember the last time a certain enemy used their ult and how much damage they may have been outputting. To be able to gauge this accurately, it really just comes down with experience. When I am playing Rhine and I'm going up against another Rhine, I can generally tell when the enemy Rhine is going to have ult by watching how many swings, fire strikes, or charges they get in. Another important aspect of ult tracking is determining when the enemy is going to use their ultimate. For example, a Reaper teleporting to high ground or Wraith forming into the middle of their opposing team screams, "I have Death Blossom and I'm going to use it now." Chances are not everyone will pick up on that, so make sure you are the one who watches out for this hint and call it out. There are more examples to learn from through a certain hero's movement to position their ult effectively, like a Ryan putting his shield down for an extended amount of time or a Pharah flying close behind. Ults can make or break a game, so make sure you are doing everything you can to keep track of them, call them out, and counter them.
Tip number 4, active listening. Too often do I find my teammates and myself not paying attention to what is being communicated, kind of getting distracted either with my Discord or on other social media platforms while I'm playing the game. Sometimes we find ourselves more focused on the mechanics of playing a certain character and other distractions. Just like talking to a friend, in order to communicate with them and understand what they are saying, you must actively listen. This translates into Overwatch gameplay identically. If you or your teammate are not listening to the shot calls, ult tracking, etc., then your team's offense or defense will not be as successful as it could be. Just listening and enacting to your teammates' calls is already most of the communication process because you receive the information. You have processed it and you have the ability to execute it. The only thing that might be necessary to communicate is confirmation whether the call is a good one or not. Think of it like this. A match can be weighed by how many people are communicating. The team with the higher number theoretically has the higher advantage. As long as all your teammates are in voice chat and everyone is actively listening, the whole team is communicating essentially. More so if there is already a shot caller and ult tracking. Make sure all of your team is on board because your team very well might have this advantage.
And our last tip of the day, only input necessary information. There are many games where I catch myself and other players grumbling under their breath or talk about things that aren't pertaining to the match while the timer is still ticking. We as gamers are super fortunate to communicate with each other so clearly to form these awesome strategies, but we are limited to only one channel in Overwatch with 6 other people. In saying that, there is usually always going to be someone of those 6 people that will want to put in the necessary information to contribute to the match. To ensure the whole team hears valuable information and comms aren't being filled with unnecessary info, I recommend only inputting information that makes your teammates more aware of what is going on within the match. This is just to fulfill the maximum benefit from team chat and can be super useful when everyone is giving valuable information. And most especially, when the shot caller or someone is tracking an ult, let that person be in control of the comms at that time. This will drastically help use comms to its maximum potential and will help win more games for you guys. Well guys, that is all of our content for this video we have to cover. Scan that QR code you see on your screen to join our Discord server. We also have our Twitter and Instagram links, so please go ahead and check that out to get more information on future video content and to be more involved in the Overtime community. Don't forget to let us know how you think players should improve their communication overall in Overwatch in the comments, and also feel free to give us suggestions about how we can improve our content. Lastly, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell icon to see more future videos. And please leave a like if you enjoy the content. Thank you, and we will see you in Overtime.